Welcome to Manchester United News Update. Subscribe for more Manchester United news, match previews, and transfer updates. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's first year at Man United as 5 big decisions backfire on INEOS boss. Christmas Eve is the one-year anniversary of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's partial takeover of Manchester United, but his first 12 months has produced a catalogue of questionable decisions. Sir Jim Ratcliffe marks 1 year as part owner of Manchester United today, but it has not proven the cause of celebration most fans imagined on Christmas Eve 12 months ago. The INEOS arrival, costing £1.05 billion for a 25% stake in the club, has not carried the transformative effect initially hoped for at Old Trafford despite an FA Cup final win last May against neighbours Manchester City. And while Ratcliffe's vision is still being implemented, many of his big decisions in the opening 12 months have backfired or received sustained backlash. Here are 5 of the biggest calls made so far, and, really, none of them have had a positive impact. Ten Hag U-turn. The hierarchy had explored the availability of a number of new head coaches and provisionally decided before the FA Cup final that Ten Hag would be sacked with a new man in place well before pre-season. Then the team produced a really impressive performance to win at Wembley, and United decided to do a U-turn and trigger an extension in the Dutchman's contract. And that has set them back several months while threatening to make this season a write-off. Ruben Amorim could prove the man who turns things around, but without huge sums to spend in the transfer market, after United committed £150 million in the summer, he has a squad not perfectly suited to his preferred tactical plan, and that could take several windows to remedy. Had he, or another figure United looked closely at towards the end of last season, been in position 6 months ago, who knows how different things would look now. Controversial staff cuts. In early July, it was confirmed that the club would be making 250 staff members redundant following a cost review that suggested it would lead to a total saving of about £40 million. But various reports have said staff morale hit an all-time low during the process to let so many employees go. And it was then revealed in the club's latest set of quarterly financial results that they spent £8.6 million on severance packages. A subsequent decision was made to cancel the staff Christmas party, while lunchboxes for workers at Old Trafford were scrapped in favor of a buffet that led to claims, strongly denied by the club, that they were leftovers from corporate guests. And that is before considering the decision to end Sir Alex Ferguson's long-time ambassadorial position. Ashworth mess. Dan Ashworth spent 4 months on gardening leave after telling Newcastle he wanted to move to Old Trafford, only to last 5 minutes before INEOS he was not the right fit as sporting director. Transfer News Live. Man United offered Rashford swap deal as Man City line up £41 million star. Christmas Day might nearly be upon us, but it's business as usual for Premier League teams. As well as preparing for Boxing Day figures, many are finalizing their January transfer plans with the window opening in just over a week. And fans can expect some big business to be done. Ruben Amorim's overhaul at Manchester United is almost certain to include new faces, while Arsenal may suddenly need reinforcements amid an injury crisis. Manchester City too are suddenly expected to splash cash to address their remarkably poor form. Only £96.2 million was spent in January by top-flight clubs in 2024, as FFP concerns seemingly restricted owners, but that figure will surely be surpassed this time around. Women's team concern. The Women's Super League may continue to grow steadily, but Ratcliffe, who has at least been transparent, has said the girls' team is an opportunity that is not top priority. There's only so much that you can do, and our focus has been on the men's team. If not, you get spread too thinly, he told United We Stand recently. The women's side were also moved out of their section of the training ground, so the men could move in while renovations were taking place. United sit 4th in the WSL table, 7 points behind leaders Chelsea, but with many close to the team puzzled by the mid- and long-term future. Ticket prices. Fans are now protesting vociferously against a recent decision to raise members' ticket prices to £66, with United becoming the latest club to scrap concessions. The 1958 fans group, which had led anti-Glazer protests before INEOS' arrival, said the decision was clear exploitation of our loyal fanbase. Ratcliffe's view is that Fulham had been charging more, and United, being a bigger club, should at least be on par with that, entirely ignoring that large swathes of Manchester and West London have rather different socio-economic realities. How Manchester United countered team news leaks and Marcus Rashford squad uncertainty. Man United took uncharacteristic measures surrounding team news a week after the men published their leaked 11 for the Manchester Derby. One of the subtler developments surrounding Manchester United's matchday activity against Bournemouth was that the club effectively confirmed their squad hours before kick-off. Clips on MUTV and X, as well as imagery on Getty taken by official club photographers, captured 21 United players arriving at Old Trafford. That is the 20-man matchday squad and third goalkeeper who participates in the warm-up. It confirmed the only squad change from the midweek League Cup tie at Tottenham was Toby Collier in for the injured Victor Lindelof. Those of us eagle-eyed to account for every player quickly concluded there would be no recall for Marcus Rashford. And so the news of a third successive squad omission was softened long before the teams were confirmed at 12.45. Midway through Jose Mourinho's first season as United manager, he referenced the Manchester Evening News squad stories when he confirmed Luke Shaw's squad inclusion for the visit of Bournemouth in March 2017. Luke Shaw is selected for tomorrow, so you won't need to have the guys at the Lowry to take the pictures to see if he's selected. Mourinho laughed. Back when United stayed at hotels, almost always the Lowry, before matches, the men regularly did a head count of who was in and who was out of the squad. That stopped under Erik ten Hag, who ironically requested to resurrect the hotel usage last season, but was overruled on budgetary grounds. Mourinho was put off from dining in the city centre after he and his entourage were trailed from the Lowry to Gaucho restaurant on Deansgate during his first month in the hotel. He gave the Lowry some free publicity on other occasions relating to team news. I cannot confirm now, but the paparazzi that live in the Lowry Hotel, they can take the picture when we go to the hotel at 6 o'clock and see if Wayne is selected, he said of Rooney's potential availability in April 2017. Mourinho also advised the photographers on their movements. We don't go to the hotel tonight, so don't send the paparazzi, he clarified midway through his second season. You won't see who is selected because we are not going there. Only me to the hotel. When Mourinho was sacked, he bid goodbye to the photographers who filmed his getaway from the Lowry. Some managers are particularly protective of team news. Mourinho decided to leak certain teams with deliberate errors to flush out the mole, a tactic George Smiley would have admired. They tell a story at Real Madrid about the measures Fabio Capello once took to counter team news leaks. Capello resorted to such drastic measures, he withheld his team before an away game until hours before kickoff. Capello assembled the real squad in their hotel for a pre-match meeting and announced the team. Manchester UnitedMan Utd can make first winter signing next week by triggering buyback clause for defender. Manchester United can make their first signing of the winter transfer window next week. The Red Devils have had a disappointing first half to the Premier League campaign. They are presently 13th in the table with a 9-point deficit to the Champions League places. Manager Ruben Amorim has been unable to bring a significant change in the club's results. He could be backed with a small budget to reinforce a couple of positions this winter. A new left wing-back is reportedly the top priority for the Portuguese. We believe the club have an easy decision to make. They should re-sign Alvaro Fernandes from Benfica. The United graduate was loaned out to the Portuguese outfit at the start of the year. The Lisbon club triggered the clause to sign him permanently for £5 million last summer. As part of the agreement, the Red Devils agreed a buyback clause worth £16 million which will stay active until the summer of 2026, according to Manchester Evening News. Fernandes would be a perfect signing for Amorim. The 21-year-old had a slow start to his career with Benfica, but his performances have vastly improved this campaign after the appointment of Bruno Lage as their new manager. The Spaniard has been a permanent fixture in the starting 11. He has registered 2 goals and 2 assists from 23 games at left-back and has also excelled with his defensive work. Fernandes has won 59% of his duels with 2.2 tackles, 1.9 clearances and 5.4 recoveries per game. He has completed 56% of his dribbles with 26 passes in the opposition half per appearance. With the unreliability of Diogo Dalot and Tyrell Malacia at left wing-back, it appears a no-brainer decision to re-sign Fernandes when the transfer window reopens at the start of January. He would be a bargain signing with the progress made during his time with Benfica. Fernandes, who has a release clause worth £42 million valid for other clubs, has experience as a left wing-back, having played a full season at Preston North End, on loan. In the position,